Atau anu pakai tadi apa nama background belakang tadi, coba. Coba. Kayak visual background aja.
Yes, we're still admitting a participant who is coming right now, so we better wait about 5 minutes, okay?
Selamat sore, Assalamualaikum, Prof. Novi. Sehat selalu, Prof. Nggak dengar. Selamat sore, Pak Paulus.
Okay, can we start now? Dr. Gun? Okay, I think we better start now, okay? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leili. I'm speaking from my office in Sriwijaya University in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia. It is my pleasure to welcome you here today in the room of Zoom, which is actually hosting from Sawit Center Base in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. And this forum also hosted from different places, even abroad. This forum is also hosted from Padang and Manila, maybe in Philippines and other places in the world. So wherever you are, I hope you enjoy your seat and your comfortable room while you stay at home or connected from your office. Just make yourself comfortable because about 2 hours from now, we are going to have a beneficiary talk and discussion about what is becoming more and more critical issue every day, such as sustainable palm oil. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Kapembwa from Zambia, Dr. Ikuenobe from Nigeria, Dr. Joshi from Philippines, and other international core team, even from Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and many places all over the world, and also all of the members or the participants from many places in Indonesia. Dr. Alawi Sulaiman from Malaysia, maybe I forget, Dr. Herry Wirianata, and Pak Rector. How are you doing? Okay, hope you are doing fine and great for this event and on the opening of international webinar on palm oil today in October 1st, 2020. Thank you all for making time in your busy schedules or quite intensive webinar agenda to attend, and we do really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, palm oil is a global commodity that is extracted from the oil palm tree. Grown only in the tropics area, the oil palm tree produces a high quality oil used primarily for cooking in developing countries. It is also used in food products, detergents, cosmetics, and also to biofuel. This plantation can be found throughout Southeast Asia. Some of it can be found as well as in Latin America and Africa. Nowadays, together, Indonesia and Malaysia provide more than 80% of world's palm oil. As Indonesia and Malaysia are two major palm oil producing nations, there is much discussion around the issues that palm oil plantation pose in the face of environmental sustainability, the local economy, and human rights. The global debate on the sustainability and legitimacy of palm oil production is one that continues to evolve and define the industry. So this topic should be very, very interesting to make you stay, okay? We hope we will learn a lot and get inspired by the incoming talk and discussion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, Instiper, or Institute of Agriculture and Plantation Yogyakarta, is the first and the leading university in Indonesia that is oriented towards plantation development. I bet since 1958, is that right? We know very well that Instiper Yogyakarta has contributed a lot and play a role in Indonesian palm oil plantation. Therefore, it's very appropriate for Instiper Yogyakarta to be the main host for our event today. Moving right along, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Harsawardana, Master of Engineering, Rector of Instiper Yogyakarta, Indonesia, for the opening remarks. Dr. Harsa, time is yours. Pak Rector, are you there? Okay, the microphone is still mute.
It's not on, or now I turn on the microphone, okay?
Okay, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lally, and Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, dear all the participants all over the world. Good evening to you all, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to give an opening remark. It is an honor for me to be here at the international webinar on palm oil, and moreover, and the launching ceremony of Sawit Center. Communication, collaboration, coordination are keys of any effort to promote sustainable oil palm productions. To meet the challenge opportunity in the framework of sustainable oil palm production, research and innovation, I do believe, will be playing the significant roles. Exchange of experiences among the participants, country research innovation center will be extremely useful in keeping the Sawit Center continues to grow. I wish everyone successful and grateful international webinar on oil palm. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harsa. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know that Dr. Harsawardana is also one of director of Sawit Center now. And please kindly put that applause and give some reaction from your Zoom feature. Just like this. Okay. And then we continue to the important part of the event. We are entering the webinar season. And to guide the webinar on sustainable palm oil, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ravidra Joshi from Philippines. You may recognize Dr. Joshi as an independent consultant with area of expertise in agriculture and rural development policy, capacity building, climate change, and environment. Dr. Joshi has been working as senior advisor at the Ministry of Agriculture, as visiting professor also at PG National University and the University of the South Pacific. Dr. Ravidra Joshi has over 25 years experience working in sustainable agriculture in Asia, Japan, Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, India, also in Africa, I guess in Nigeria, in the Pacific Island, and the Caribbean. So without any further ado, now I would like to invite Dr. Ravidra Joshi. Your time availability for all speakers, including Q&A session, is about 75 minutes from now. Please, Dr. Joshi.
Good afternoon, good morning to my colleagues who are attending this conference. Thank you, Lily, for introducing me. You had given a too long biography about me. I think what's important is that this is a very important international webinar that we are having on oil palm, sustainable oil palm. In nutshell, today we have very important visitors, speakers who are coming from the major palm growing areas in the world. And they know about sustainability of the oil palm is the key for the future, because oil palm is a very important vegetable oil that is consumed in the world. And so it has a lot of implication on food and nutrition security. Our first speaker is from Zambia, Mr. Christopher. The other speaker, the second speaker is from Nigeria, which is also a very important oil palm growing country in the world. And of course, we have from Asia, we have two speakers, Professor Avi and Professor Herry, Dr. Herry from Malaysia and Indonesia. So this is a very important webinar that has been organized by the university as well as by SAFE Network. And in the future, we will see more and more of this webinar, especially on oil palm. I'm happy to be your moderator today. I have few housekeeping rules that I thought would be nice to share before I introduce the first speaker. So while the speakers are giving their presentation, please put your microphone on mute so that there is no disturbance. The second is I would request the speakers to please stick to the time, because we have a very packed webinar. And the third important thing that we want to encourage the participants to please use the Q&A, the question and answers and we'll try to address some, if not all, some of the questions that are relevant to this international webinar. So the first speaker, I'd like to introduce the first speaker. The first speaker is Dr. Christopher Kapembwa from Zambia. He is a PhD in project management and agronomy. He is the president of the Zambian Institute of Agriculture. I think he has a lot of experience on rural development, and he is also currently he is the coordinator. He is the coordinator of the Tropical Agriculture Association, and which is based in UK, and he represents the Tropical Agriculture Association for Zambia and South African region. He's also an associate of two UK NGOs, which is Beaconton Overseas Agricultural Trust and Rural Corn UK. I will request now Dr. Christopher to make his presentation. Thank you. Christopher, please. Can you hear?
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Hello. I think we have lost the connection, or I can't see him. Is he there? Is Christopher there? Okay. Hello.
What is happening now?
Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a challenge. Sometimes the African network, it can just behave this way sometimes. Yeah. The board of directors, Sawit, the team, international core team, Sawit, all participants, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad. It's my great pleasure to be part of this great event. And I believe Dr. Josh, Professor Josh, our moderator, has said so much about me. Thank you, Professor Josh. The profile is just too huge, and you have exalted me. Thank you very much. Yeah, just to give the brief background or to speak a little bit about this type of sustainable life. Sustainable livelihood is in the law Zambia through smallholder farm or this I would say the evolution of farm oil system in Zambia has been expanding so much and tremendously, having the background of starting from a traditional system, which is a small order, and expanding to the industrial system. This has led it to now farm oil competing with crops such as the groundnuts, cotton, soybeans, as a major source of Zambia's supply of oils and fat. This has been the motivation. It has been regarded as one of the vegetable oil source, regardless of having a background of just being grown by smallholder farmers. There is a realization that this can be a potential industrial oil source and also domestic oil source. So it is currently the production is distributed, or the cultivation of palm oil is distributed in 3 major provinces of Zambia. As you can see on the map there, on your far end at the bottom, that map you see with the mark red, it's the map of Zambia. But on the map of Zambia, we have only 3 provinces, which is the Muchinda province, the Luapula province, and the Northern province. I will just to show the map, to show the map first, so that we can all look at we can all follow what we talk
talking about in terms of cultivation distribution as regards to regions that are influencing the production of palm oil. That is, like I've said, that is Muchinga province and Papua province, Northern province. All these provinces are in the northern side of Zambia. And when you go on the northern side of Zambia, this is where you find we've got 3 major lakes. That is the Lake Tanganyika, far in the north. We've got Lake Bangweulu and Lake Mwelu. Lake Bangweulu shares 2 provinces, that is the Muchinga and the Luapula. Then Muchinga and Luapula, but Lake Mwelu is far on the north side, just in the Luapula and a bit of, again, northern. So this is how the distribution is done. The production started on a long. If you can look at the graphs, if you look at the smallholder plant production and oil production, you will see that the figures, the prominent, the production hasn't been so much prominent in the first years, but gradually it has shown the escalation. So this is also an indication that the smallholder appreciates the importance of production of palm oil and also the extraction of the oil itself. You on the graphs there, you see that like I've indicated that palm oil is produced in the 3 provinces, which is Muchinga, Luapula, and Northern. But in this graphs, you see a district called Mofulila district. This is in the mine area. It's a copper mine producing district. This is also an indication that it is not just the rural sector that appreciates the importance of palm oil, but it is now influencing also the cities. So, which is a very, very good indicator.
Hello. I'm sorry, your audio is not quite clear enough to in Indonesia. Would you like to reset your connection first, especially on the audio? Maybe you better not using your headset, so we can accept your audio is better.
Okay, let me try to use the headset. How is it?
Yeah.
How is the audio?
Now it's better.
Yep.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I hope everyone is hearing me clear. Hello? Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I was just trying to give an appraisal on the appreciation of palm oil production, other than just our focus in the rural, but how some districts also in the urban have been influenced, particularly in the mining towns like the Mfwila mine, where we have seen some small order pockets begin to emerge. And that's where you see all those the 2 graphs coming from the production, the cultivation, and also the oil extraction. There is also within the rural areas, that's where you find, when you look at Muchinga province, Northern province, and Wapla province, these are not urban districts or provinces. These are rural setups. These are actually more in the outskirts from towns. And this is where even the industrial production has been set up. So you can see on the two graphs in where we are in the slide 5, you see that there has been a gradual progression, though with quite remarkable figures on both cultivation and the industrial plants being installed. So when you look at from 2009 to 2020 on cultivation, you see there has been an increase in plant population. We go to oil production. There has been also a huge investment in the oil extraction plants. It started with a factory that can only produce 2 tons. Currently, we are on industries that are able to produce 10 tons oil. So this shows that it's a product, it's a crop that is being appreciated. As we go back to the origin of tradition, now you can see the appreciation on the industrial part. Not only that, we see the oil palm production industry bringing up also some social improvements. For example, you see in that picture the children on the roadside there. They are just excited because there is a school that has been, a primary school that has been established as a result of the introduction of this oil palm plantation in Muchinga. So these are all indicators of a success or a promising future in the palm oil industry. But that does not indicate that we need to relax on the issues of research, because we need to go further to begin to develop innovation that are not just focusing on a small order, but on how small order and industrial can be synergized to also look at what is our end result. We are looking at the 2 issues here. The increase in oil production, which will lead to, of course, food security and nutrition. Then also we are looking at volumes, which will give us the monetary return. So at both the participatory levels, that is small order and industrial. Yes, our focus is small order, but the strength of small order, it's built up by the introduction of industrial. The small order farmers learn so much from the industrial focus, and this is why our research and investigation focus should be how they coming up with industries in the oil palm production is building up on the small order. Yeah, the current, I would say, yes, the current oil palm status in Zambia, though there is still a lot of traditional beliefs that it was just grown by those who cannot manage to buy cooking oil from other sources, but there is an indication on the potential of expansion. As you can see, there are small outgrower schemes being established. And this also builds up on the scaling up of cultivation. The same outgrower schemes, which are done by industrial systems, engaging the smallholder, that also has made the production part to increase from 10% on the beginning to around 50% increase currently. And also we have the oil palm processing plants set up. These have also built up on the face of the current situation or current status of oil palm production in the country. Yeah, so there is a very, very promising future in terms of considering dependable plants for oil extraction, and these are not just going to be industrial. There is a lot of debate going on how to come up with smallholder machines that can improve the oil extraction, other than just the local way of the traditional way of doing it. And this also adds up to the potential of oil palm production in the country. Yeah, having said that, it is not easy for Zambia alone to manage it. And this is why Zambian Institute of Agriculture has taken it up through me as the president, Dr. Kapembwa, to strengthen international collaboration. And this is where I see the potential through collaboration with Sawit Center in Indonesia, Southeast Asian universities, producers, also through the SAFE network in Indonesia, with Zambian Institute of Agriculture having this collaboration, we see a lot of potential investigation to build up on the current status of oil production in palm oil production in Zambia. Why do I say so? Why do I acknowledge the importance of this collaboration? Going back to the history, you will see that Indonesia and the countries like Nigeria, they started or they entered into the industrial oil palm production way back before Zambia could realize its oil palm production as an industrial potential. So for me, this collaboration is so very, very much important. Yeah, and having said that, I take this opportunity of being part of Sawit Center as not just an opportunity for Zambian Institute of Agriculture, but as an opportunity for the entire nation Zambia in the area of oil palm production and other potential sustainable agriculture programs. So I would say I'm so grateful to be part of Sawit Center core team at international level, and I'm very, very open to this great collaboration. On this remark, I will say thank you very much for having accorded me an opportunity to give a presentation. And sorry for the internet system, it hasn't been so, it was stable before the presentation, but it became unstable.
Thank you, Dr. Christopher. Thank you so much for your presentation. So I can understand the problems of connectivity, especially in many countries, not only in Africa but also now we are experiencing this kind of problems because everybody is using internet and Zoom these days. So there is too much of load. If the presentation was very good, so participants, please put your questions on the chat, and we will deal with that when all the four presenters have made their presentation. I'd like to introduce the second speaker, who is Dr. Celestine Ikuenobe. He is from Nigeria, working with the Nigerian Institute of Oil Palm Research in Benin City. Nigeria is a very important oil palm growing country, and he is an agronomist by profession, and he's also an associate professor in the university in Nigeria with the Department of Crop Science, University of Benin. He was also an associate professor of agronomy. He has a lot of experience on oil palm because he started his career in that institute, and now he is the executive director of the National Institute of Oil Palm in Nigeria. Dr. Celestine, the floor is for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joshi. First, let me thank you for inviting me to this program. And indeed, our presentation is co-authored with you, as you know. Nigeria is an important oil palm growing country. We have always grown oil palm before it became an industrial crop. This crop is native to Nigeria, so we are very used to processing the crop. But what has happened is that we have not grown the crop on the scale that we have done in Southeast Asia as Indonesia and Malaysia. Well before now, Nigeria was the most important palm oil producing country in the world. And up to 1965, we're still the leading producer in the world. Much of palm oil is produced by the traditional system in Nigeria by the natives who already know how to grow the crop. They also know how to process the crop. So for us as an institute, the Oil Palm Research Institute, we try to emphasize and try to improve on the smallholder schemes by providing them improved planting materials. We have also designed for them small-scale processing equipment, which can do extract up to 18% of palm oil. It's not as good as the big industrial palm processing equipment, largely because this equipment does not incorporate the boiler, a steam boiler, which can help to improve on the extraction rates. But over time, we have collected a lot of germplasm, as you know, in NIFO, where germplasm are very important in the world. Nigeria grows oil palm in 3 production systems. The first production system is the natural semi-wild roofs, then the smallholder system, and then the industrial plantations. Today in Nigeria, the industrial plantations cover a large section of the country. We have well over 2.1 million hectares under the smallholder scheme. And the wild groves, the estate is about just less than 200,000 hectares. And the smallholders we estimate to be anything from 300,000 to 600,000 hectares. Smallholders. For all this, the totality we assume in Nigeria is about 2.7 million hectares. If you take the wild groves, the ones grown on wild, the smallholders system, the industrial plantations. In all of these, efficiencies are better in the industrial plantations, and again, better in the smallholders systems than in the traditional semi-wild groves. By semi-wild groves, some of you in Southeast Asia don't understand what it is. The plants, nobody grows them, they're part of the forest. So we just exploit from the forest. We have in Nigeria a major problem in oil palm production in industrial plantation development include difficult to acquire large tracts of land. It's quite difficult to acquire large tracts of land. Maybe Dr. Joshi wants to share my slides. Dr. Joshi, you want to share our slides? Dr. Joshi, do you want to share our slides? Okay. So we have industrial plantations, which mostly big corporations such as Wilmar, Sofink, and Seat. These are the big corporations in Nigeria. Okay, yes, thank you very much. Dr. Joshi's name is supposed to be in that slide. We expected I should have put in that slide. Then we have for us, we have the smallholders, as we said, then the industrial plantation. But the problem we have is it's difficult to acquire large tracts of land in Nigeria. Then it's also there's huge capital outlay in establishing a plantation. It's quite expensive to establish large plantations. And then we also have processing inefficiency among the smallholders. Smallholders don't process efficiently. So they are large, but they are not processing efficiently. And many plantations are very old now, and they require to be replanted in Nigeria. So the opportunities exist in replanting, mostly replanting exercises, and then in growing the large industrial plantations. We have the opportunities there and that exist there. Now we want to improve productivity in smallholders, to make them adopt improved planting materials. We want to improve the efficiencies of production, and then we want to produce technologies that provide better productivity, including agronomic practices among smallholders. Now, there are government policies to help to drive the industry. The government is trying to encourage investors. The Central Bank of Nigeria is also trying to provide credit guarantees for the scheme. And then we also, here in Nigeria, we import a lot of palm oil from Southeast Asia. But to encourage local production, Nigeria imposes about 35% tariff on imported CPO. And then we also are banning importation of processed refined oil. To encourage our local producers to use domestic palm oil to produce that and also to stimulate the industry. So for us, it's important that in Nigeria, since we have a large population, we have almost 200 million, and we're only producing about 1,250 metric tons of palm oil, 1.25 million metric tons of palm oil, which is not enough for our local production, local consumption. So we import a lot of palm oil. So there's a lot of opportunities to grow the industry in Nigeria, and then at the same time have investors come into the system. For us in my institute, which provides services to the industry, we're 81 years old now. NIFO, my institute was established in 1939. I was a foremost institute, do very good grading work, also do good agronomy research and research in other aspects, mostly in pest and disease management. We want to be able to collaborate. We're open to collaboration with any group. With Sawit, for instance, we want to be able to collaborate in want to improve our productivity and competitiveness. We want to be able to bring in some new germplasm and improve our exploit biotechnology for improving. I want to incorporate that into our genetic improvements. And they want to optimize economic practices, precision agriculture, precision fertilizer applications. You want to use now, we talk of slow release fertilizers in the plantation, so we don't use much fertilizers. And they want to improve processing on small scale products. And at the same time, improve the extraction efficiencies and reduce environmental degradation. That issues. In brief, that's a summary about what we do in Nigeria, and we want to work with SAFE, Sawit Center, and SAFE to be able to work. So I want to thank you very much for this, and my presentation is very brief. The questions eventually as they come. So Nigeria, in local parlance, we say "Wese" or "Thank you very much." I say "Terima kasih" in your language. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr. Celestine. It was you stick to the time very well, and your presentation was very comprehensive. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I'm sure you will have some questions at the end, the participants.
Yes.
And please look at the chat in case you have any. I'll read those questions at the end. And
Okay.
I'd like to introduce because we are 2 minutes a little later than the schedule. So I'll introduce our next speaker. Is an associate professor, Dr. Alawi, from the Faculty of Plantation and Agrotechnology, UiTM, Malaysia. And I know about this university. It's a great university. And I do a lot of collaboration on other areas with UiTM. Associate Professor Dr. Alawi will be talking to us about sustainable palm oil production in Malaysia. What are the challenges and the opportunities? So may I invite Associate Professor Dr. Alawi to please make your presentation. Please share your slides. Thank you. Professor Alawi, please. Are you there? Yeah, please share your, yeah. I cannot hear you, Professor Alawi. Hello.
All right. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Now I can. Just now I cannot activate the mute button. I do not know why. So now it's okay. I think.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right. Right. So
great.
I have 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Okay. All right. So can you all look at the slide?
Great. That's very good. Please put
right.
it in the screen menu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's there, right?
Yeah, very good. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. I would like to. Okay. Thank you very much to Prof for inviting me into this international webinar and also the launching of Sawit Center. I believe this is going to be a very good outcomes for all the participated countries. So I would like to share with you all with a little bit of the challenges and also opportunities in the sustainable oil palm production in Malaysia. Right. Before that, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizing committee from the Sawit Center, right, to Prof. Noviza and also all the team's members. All right, and this is basically the content that I would like to share. It's very brief of status of palm oil business in the world and what are some of the environmental concerns probably that might interest us, and we look at the sustainability issue as well of the palm oil industry in Malaysia, and also would like to highlight the certifications two types of certification that we have in Malaysia, right? The RSPO and also MSPO. And I would like to touch a bit also on the challenges and the way forward, probably. All right. So if we look at the palm oil industry in Malaysia, right? Basically, it has started since 1970s, 1917. So more than 100 years, right? So basically, since then, since 1917s, the focus on sustainability is actually already there, right? So we have been producing the palm oil in a very sustainable manner already, and we are trying from years to years. We are actually trying to be better and better so that we can, at the end of the day, producing a very good green palm oil. However, the Western communities nowadays is actually making a lot of propagandas and also giving a bad image to the palm oil producing countries. I think Malaysia and also Indonesia is badly hit, and I'm sure that our friend in Nigeria, right, also is badly hit by this propaganda and also bad labeling from the Western communities, right? And they always associate us with the cruel oil, killing the orangutan and palm, the open burning and so on. So this is very bad image that they are trying to portray as far as we are concerned as the major palm oil producing countries in the world, right? And in fact, in today's news, this is very recent news, and I'm not sure whether this sort of things has come to Indonesia or not, or Nigeria, but they have come to Malaysia. So this basically, they are actually banned the imports of Malaysia palm oil. This is today's news, so it's very bad news, and the country is actually very shocked about this news. So they associate us with the problems of human trafficking. The allegations that they made were on the forced labor, human rights issues, and also child labor issues. So, but we deny all those things, and the company statement is actually has come out already that deny all those allegations made by the US. And if we look at the positive side, despite all the issues, basically everybody knows that the palm oil is actually the highest yielding oil crop in the world, compared to soybean, sunflower, and also rapeseed. So we are far better, and we also contains high in vitamin E and also both the tocopherols and also tocotrienols. So we are far better than some other oil as well. And if you look at the employment opportunity, those countries that involved in palm oil production, like Malaysia, Indonesia, right, Ghana, Liberia, and our friend in Colombia as well, in Nigeria, the industry actually providing huge numbers of employment opportunities to the people. And in Malaysia, and I believe so in Indonesia and some other countries as well, the setup of the palm oil milling is actually very modern, right? So this is very typical diagrams for the productions of palm oil. So no more, traditional kind of production. It's very modern, and on the left is actually the normal setup of the palm oil mill in Malaysia, and I believe in Indonesia too. And a little bit on the status of the palm oil business. Basically, there are around 15 top producing countries in the world, and Malaysia and also Indonesia actually accounts for, I think, more than 80%, 85%, close to 85% of palm oil production in the world. So that's huge. So the good thing about that is, if you look at here, this particular diagram published by IISD, right? So if you look here, that both Malaysia and also Indonesia is actually under VSS compliant, and also potentially VSS compliant. So VSS stands for Voluntary Sustainable Standard. So we are actually there already. The standard is actually very high already, both in Malaysia and also Indonesia in terms of sustainability concerns. And if we break further in terms of the status of voluntary sustainable standard in the world, so we look at from 2008 to 2018, we look at the graph, the green color is actually getting bigger and bigger, right? So the green color is actually representing the VSS compliant, voluntary sustainable standard. It's referring to RSPO and also MSPO. So in this case, we look at the, they are considering for this graph, they are considering RSPO because it's widely accepted kind of certifications. And even though we have in Malaysia, we have MSPO, and I believe in
Dr. Alawi, I cannot hear you. Dr. Alawi. Hello. I think we have lost connection.
Yeah, lost connection. That's
Okay.
it's already, yeah.
He's trying to come in, but
Yeah. Alawi.
Yeah, Dr. Alawi is back now.
Yes, now I can mute. Yeah, unmute.
Okay.
Just now it was locked, so I couldn't. Sorry, I think the
Okay.
line is very bad. So many
Yeah,
times I have lost. I saw I've lost the line. So we try again. Yeah. So I share again.
This is the challenge nowadays.
Yeah, but I think Google Meet is much better. Zoom, yeah, it's a little bit. Okay,
Okay,
so I
please.
tried to quickly
Yeah,
before we
please.
lost
Yeah.
the signal.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if we look at the, yeah, I mentioned about this UN SDG, that the environmental concern is becoming a very big issue nowadays. That UN has put it as one of their very big agenda. They call it S17 SDG, and this is one of the very big concerns. And this happened because of the climate change that is happening. I'm trying to relate climate change to the palm oil industry, right? This is because of the climate change that is happening, and some of us might might ask that all right, some of us might ask that oh, is it real or not, the climate change? People are talking, but based on our study with the if you look at the NASA website, that the climate change is actually real. So if you look at the concentrations of, for example, so I've been tracing their concentration of CO2, for example, for the world. If you're comparing that to in 2002, the world is actually quite clean. And now in 2016, it look more reddish. So it shows that concentration of CO2 is much higher. So if we look at the global surface temperature as well, is becoming, the red color is actually very alarming. And if you look at the annual Arctic sea ice, also is getting smaller and smaller. All right, and if you look at the sea level of the world, is actually getting higher and higher. And at the end of the day, because of that, so it's actually give rise to global temperature and warming of the oceans, shrinking of ice sheets, and also glacier retreats. And we also can see, obviously, on the decrease of the snow cover cap in the northern hemisphere, and also the declining of Arctic sea ice. And the ocean also actually threatened by the acidification problems. And due to that global warming, then we actually observe, and also experience, a big storm and actually hurricanes actually happening around the world. The wildlife also is actually affected, wildfire, desertification of certain area, flooding, as well as a heavy rainfalls. And in Malaysia, to combat some of the issues related to climate change, so we have come up with the issues, we call it a national policy on climate change, so that address some of the steps so that we can actually do to combat this. And if we look at I would like to touch also on sustainability in the palm oil industry, right? So when we talk about sustainability, so it actually must cover the social aspect, the economic aspect, and also environmental aspect. And if we look at the social development of the Malaysian people, the social aspect, since we have started the palm oil business in Malaysia in the industry scale of palm oil business started in 70s, 80s, right? So we look at that, the number of people employed in the plantation sector and also the palm oil processing, it's only 92,000 plus. But now, the last data that we got in 2010 is 600 over 1,000, and in 2020, so we have something like 700 or 800,000, huge number of employment opportunity for the people. And if you look at we are comparing the national poverty lines also, the palm oil industry through Felda settlers. Felda is a very special project of the government of Malaysia to actually increase the income of the rural people. So we look at the poverty line in 2010, for example, is only 720 ringgit. equivalent to 231 US dollar. But actually the Felda people, the people that plants oil palm, actually earn 3,000 ringgit or close to 1,000 US dollars. So they are actually much better than the national poverty line in Malaysia. And if you look at the another aspect of social development as well, so this is when we started the palm oil, big scale palm industry in Malaysia. Look at the houses that the planters or the people involved in the palm oil plantations. It's very small house. Now the housing area is very modern and actually very acute. So so in a way we can say that the palm oil industry has improved the social and also livelihood of the people. And if you look at the conservation management of the environment issues, so we are actually converting the agricultural land, the other agricultural land to oil palm. Actually, we are not actually converting the virgin forest to oil palm. So you look at the data here, that we are actually converting the rubber, cocoa, and also coconut into oil palm rather than cut the virgin forest. So in a way, we are protecting the environment as well. And we look at the economic development of the country, right? So in 1980s to 2011, so the percentage of palm oil contribution in the overall export value has increased significantly, 10 times higher, from 6.1% to more than 61%. And in terms of economic development, one of the biggest country, one of the biggest company in Malaysia is actually Zambi. So along the way, the Zambi, because of the plantations, they started initially with the plantation. They actually diverse into various kinds of business here. You see, Zambi has evolved from initially from the plantation only. Now they have moved to they also have this kind of business: Zambi oil, Zambi property, Zambi industry, manufacturing, energy, utilities, and so on. So in a way, it's also helped the country to develop better. And the presence of the global presence of the industry is also getting better. One of the company that is actually involved in another company involved in palm oil plantation, they call the name is KLK. It's actually has actually diverse their business. Not only they did the plantation, but because of the profit and so on that they accumulated along the way, they're also involved in the oleochemical industry and also property industry. So in a way, it's also helped the people to get more employment opportunity. Right? A little bit on the certifications. Right? I just would like to share. There are two actually important certification, sustainability certification in Malaysia. The first one is RSPO, Roundtable Sustainable Palm Oil, and another one is MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. In Indonesia, you have probably ISPO, Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil. So if you look at the principle they are actually adopting, RSPO and MSPO is almost similar. They're actually addressing the sustainability issues. So if we want to do a little bit of comparisons using a certification analysis tool, we actually find out that the score in terms of sustainability score for RSPO is a little bit higher compared to MSPO because they have more better performance in terms of the standards and also the scheme. So I do not wish to go to detail about these certification tools, but enough to show that even though there are some areas that RSPO is better, for example, in terms of standards and scheme performance, system strength and also governance, but there are actually some area that MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, is actually better than them, right? If we look at the legality issues, so MSPO is actually much better than RSPO. If you look at the community relations and biodiversity, we can actually look at the MSPO is actually far better than the RSPO. So we cannot actually say that RSPO in terms of the criteria, they are all better than MSPO. I think this kind of findings also happen in ISPO if you try to compare ISPO and also RSPO, right? In Malaysia, the MSPO is actually governed by this body called Malaysian Palm Oil Certification Council, or MPOCC. I do not wish to go to detail because of limited of time, but actually MSPO standards actually have been developed by two committees actually. The first one is the MPOB, Malaysia Palm Oil Board, as well as the Standard Writing Organization, SWO. So they work together, they come up with this standard setting. All right. These are the process involved, very technical, but enough. I think MSPO and also ISPO back in Indonesia, and also RSPO, they're having the same procedures for applications of that. All right. I would like to share also some of the key challenges that we are facing in the agriculture, in particular to oil palm. So if you look at this particular map, all right, culture, all right, in Klein 2007, so we can easily see, we can actually see that due to climate change, right, some of the productive area will reduce by up to, some of the area up to 25%, but we are in the yellow, slightly yellow region here, right? So we're gonna have like minus 5% in terms of productivity because of the climate change. So climate change is real. So even at the end of the day, there are many effects of climate change, but at the end of the day, it's actually reducing the productivity of agriculture products. So those are one of the issues that we need to address. Second one is the green palm oil. So in Malaysia, even though we actually is a compulsory for all the companies involved in the oil palm plantation to actually certified by MSPO, not RSPO, but MSPO 100%, right? By this year, I think the target is quite realistic. So we are actually approaching 100%, all the palm oil plantation actually certified by MSPO. So it's very challenging task, and I can't imagine all the government people and also the people involved in the oil palm plantation. They work very hard to make sure that 100% of the oil palm plantation area is actually certified by MSPO, yeah, not RSPO but MSPO. Right. So these are some of the key challenges that we are facing in terms for the RSPO certification. So MSPO is the numbers are quite good, but for RSPO certification, they are still lacking for the independent smallholder, organized smallholder, and also the plantation itself. So by September 2020, right? So if we look at some of the data here, close to 90% of the plantation is actually certified for MSPO, and we have for the meal, palm oil meal, more than 90% are actually certified by MSPO. So this is very good, what you call it, achievement for the country. And we estimate that by end of this year, 2020, all the mills and also plantation will be certified by MSPO. Right. The second, the next key challenge is actually the pandemic issues. Right. So if you look at the pandemic issues, causes actually labor shortage for Malaysia palm oil industry, and because of the labor shortage, there will cause problems for the movement restrictions of the labor workers, especially we have lots of, actually more than 80% of our laborers in the plantation in Malaysia are actually foreigners. We have many Indonesian workers, Bangladeshi workers, Myanmar workers. So because of this pandemic, so issues, their restriction, their movement actually restricted. And because of that, it caused labor shortage. And many agriculture inputs cannot happen, and the transportation cannot move, and so on. So at the end of the day, it's also reducing the productivity, overall productivity. And this is a very interesting data, the effects of coronavirus. Sorry?
Dr. Alawi, can you please summarize it in?
All right.
Yeah,
okay, I'm coming to
Thank
the,
you.
yes. So
Thank
we
you
have
so
problems
much.
with the, yes. Give me 5 minutes, I will finish up. So the coronavirus also, pushes, more Asian people in under the poverty line. And the labor is a big issue, slavery and so on. So it has been highlighted. It's also becoming a big issue in Malaysia. And labor productivity and mechanization is also big issues that we need to address in Malaysia and some other countries as well. Right. So some of the equipments are used but cannot be totally used in the plantation. So because of the productivity is still low. And the yield of the oil palm bunches is also quite and not so good. So we need to do something to improve the breadfruit bunches yield. And also the way forward, right? The way forward for the agriculture yield reductions due to climate change. We actually in our university, we are actually working together with one of the company, FGV, to actually monitor using the satellite. So we have this facility in this university, so we can actually monitor the data in the oil palm plantation to know whether that plantation is productive or not. So we are doing this particular project, and we also need to be more transparent, right, in terms of the palm oil maps for both Malaysia and also Indonesia. And we have to be more transparent also in terms of the sustainability issues in the palm oil, right? And I think as far as MSPO and ISPO is concerned, we have to work together to probably come up with a more stronger sustainability certification. So we're looking at Asian standard rather than individual country. And there are actually many value-added products we can actually get from the industry as well, like biogas, for example, and also biocompost are one of the two important examples, right? So I would like to conclude the session today that I think that the palm oil industry has been and will be continue to play a very important role to give the palm oil to the world. And even though climate change is inevitable, but the industry can actually create various initiatives to reduce the global warming effect. And in Malaysia, palm oil will continue to contribute to the rural communities. And MSPO and actually RSPO are two important sustainability certification in Malaysia. And also the ASEAN countries need to rethink about sustainability in agriculture sector. For example, we have to come up with the ASEAN or ASEA Sustainable Agriculture Certificate or something like RSPO and so on, but focus in Asia country. And I believe despite all these challenges that we are facing, palm oil industry needs to continue chart a new and creative sustainability pathway. And lastly, I would like to thank this Sawit Center to organize this particular event. I think this is an excellent effort by committee led by Prof. Dr. Noviza and also other committee members from Andalas University and the rest of the world. So I think that's all my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'll pass back to Prof. Ravi. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Alawi, for a very comprehensive and updated presentation. you know, this yesterday this morning, early morning, I was reading the news about what you showed in your earlier slide, that there's
All
a
right.
lot of black propaganda going on. And
Yes, yes.
and 10 years before, when I was the senior advisor to the Minister for Agriculture in Solomon Island, we invited the Malaysian Palm Oil Board to do the scoping mission for oil palm in Solomon Islands, because Solomon
All right.
Islands and Papua New Guinea are the two major countries that are into huge oil palm cultivation. So thank you so much.
Yes.
We are running actually a little late. I'd like to introduce Dr. Herry Wirianata, who is who will be talking about sustainable palm oil production in Indonesia. So please, Dr. Herry, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for Dr. Joshi. Good afternoon and good morning for my friend from Africa. Thank you for the opportunity. I am Herry Wirianata and Mr. Sri Gunawan from Agricultural Institute of Instiper. I would like to present about sustainable palm oil production in Indonesia, the challenges and opportunity. Kok belum anu kok jalan kok.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay. First, I want to talk. Oil palm was first planted in Bogor Botanical Garden in 1848 and become the source of initial seed for oil palm plantation in Southeast Asia. The agroclimatic condition that is suitable with this seed have made this plant could be harvested since the age of 3 years. As a vegetable oil producer, the productivity of palm oil is higher than other vegetable oil producers. This plant is highly efficient in using land and also has economic productive age of 25 years. And now, Indonesia and Malaysia have controlled 85% of world palm oil production. The area of Indonesian oil palm plantation has increased with the growth number of 2.4% per year and oil production of 5.7% per year. The area of smallholder plantation has also increased rapidly in the last 3 years. However, in another case, the productivity of palm oil still has low average number at 3.0 to 3.5 ton per hectare per year, even though the potential number for production is 7 to 8 ton. Palm oil plantation in Indonesia are scattered in Sumatra and Borneo and some minor area in Sulawesi and Papua. The area of oil palm plantation reached around 16.38 million hectares, consisting of 6.86 million hectares of private plantation and 6.72 million hectares of smallholder plantation. The productivity of private plantation oil is certainly higher than the smallholder. The downstream industry of oil palm plantation have several significant role for Indonesia. The export value of palm oil and derivative product have reached $22.197 billion. The oil palm industry, both on farm and the downstream, could employ 17.5 million workers. Industrialization, economic growth, global warming, energy security, sustainable environment, and comfortable life are the challenges of modern civilization. To fulfill the above, the world is looking for adequate renewable energy sources. Indonesia's energy policy, by utilizing palm oil, is able to reduce fossil fuel imports and supports the government commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emission. This policy is expected to help stabilize FFB price at the farm level, and development of oil palm plantation plays significant role in improving people welfare in border area. This development also played the role in terms of regional expansion. As the world's largest producer, the added value of palm oil is the biggest in its derivative product. So the development of downstream industry has gained priority in the recent year. The quantity of CPO export has decreased, whereas export of derivative product is increased. The area of palm oil industry in Medan attract investor enthusiasm and play important role in the development of downstream industry in Indonesia. The situation of COVID pandemic that lead to slow economic growth has little effect in plantation commodity business. The export volume and the domestic consumption of palm oil and its derivative are increasing, including biodiesel. Frankly speaking, large domestic needs can reduce the negative effect of COVID pandemic. The fluctuate of CPO price has major impacts on oil palm plantation operational process, and even has a greater impacts on smallholder plantation in Indonesia this period of time. Meanwhile, the production costs increase, especially for labor wages, so that the profit margin is getting lower. Indonesian production costs are relatively higher than Malaysia's. This became a new challenge for oil palm plantation, especially private plantation. In the last 10 years, the labor wages are increasing. It is impacted on the smaller amount of profit margin in oil palm business, especially in the upstream sector. The regional minimum wage conducted by government has various number in each region. For example, Sumatra has higher regional minimum wages rather than Borneo or Kalimantan. Oil palm industry is still below its production potential, the yield give of its production is around 44%, especially for the smallholder plantation. This gap caused by inadequate management of technical culture in the plantation, including plantation or estate management, fertilization, drug, and flood losses. Yield gap analysis has been commonly used as a tool to explore the possibility for improving land productivity. Especially conducted for marginal soil, such as sandy soil, lowland, and degraded soil. Now, I want to inform the sustainability of oil palm in Indonesia. For me, sustainability issues are the major problem in palm oil export, especially to European Union. Indonesia has taken first steps to explain the government effort in applying sustainable palm oil principle from economic, social, and environmental perspective. Various regulation and government policy have been issued to manage ecosystem and the environment, such as prohibiting the clearing of peatland for oil palm plantation and handling land fire. The handling of sustainability issues is carried out with an integrated approach that involves the active role of all oil palm stakeholders, mainly the private plantation and our government. The European Union markets require a palm oil production system that is environmentally friendly, and I think it is my concern in oil palm production. The effort implemented to meet these challenges in this case, the increasing productivity is a top priority by applying good management practices related to factors that contribute to the yield gap in both plantation and milling. These factors include plant material that is tolerant to drought and ganoderma is needed for replanting, the use of machine and equipment in operational activity, the use of IT technology in administrative processes and control system, increased labor productivity support by digital technology can increase the efficiency of farm operation. This is the good management practices was implemented in upstream sector or in on-farm plantation. Knowledge-intensive technology are now available to planters that can enable more effective management and analysis of available information. This will allow better estimate of economic yield target and achievement of this target through more effective use of input and adoption of good management practices in an ecological sound manner. Indonesian FFB production continue to increase along with the increasing of area and productivity. This will be followed by increasing of biomass volume, such as EFB, palm oil mill effluent, and corn. This biomass-based industry is one of the Indonesian primacy and also reduce greenhouse gas emission. In addition, this biomass is used as organic fertilizer and soil ameliorant, especially for sandy soil. Fertilizer management in oil palm plantation based on the nutrient balance principle, which estimate the total demand of palm oil and matches it with the nutrient supply in the oil palm plantation and from supplemented fertilizer. Soil community and their functioning are largely impacted by diversity and abundance of plant community. Oil palm plantation could have a reasonably diverse plant understory. However, these plants are often seen as weed to compete with oil palm for nutrient by some plantation manager, and although understory vegetation management varies widely between different plantations, complete removal by herbicide and weeding is common. Oil palm plantation and related activity have been associated with climate change, where carbon dioxide is the main key driver. In this case, Indonesia and Malaysia have been the main target areas of carbon dioxide emission measurements, as they aim to dedicate millions of metric tons of palm oil to meet global demand in producing biofuel for my country. The massive growth of smallholder plantation area continue to increase, now reaching 6.7 billion hectares, so that it has a strategic role in the palm oil business in the future. However, productivity is low and face many constraints in technical culture, FFB sales, and replanting. The partnership is expected to improve smallholder production, where private plantation can help transfer technology, provide production input, FFB marketing, and even replanting. This is the certified sustainable palm oil which is in Indonesia. For Indonesia, sustainable palm oil is an adjunct and mandatory need for all oil plantation in Indonesia, of course, and related stakeholders. Smallholder plantation certification will become a priority in the future, along with the increased area. The revised RSPO and Indonesian sustainable palm oil provide opportunity for GSPO for smallholder and community, especially smallholder plantation. Private plantation can carry out technical and administrative guidance for smallholder to build their capacity. As information,
Dr. Herry, can you summarize it, please? Time is short. Yeah, thank you. We are running late. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Joshi.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Indonesian alternative energy or biofuel policy is based on the potential production of palm oil in Indonesia. This policy is arranged since 2008. This program has succeeded in increasing domestic consumption of oil palm and reducing petroleum import, reducing greenhouse gas, and increasing added value through downstreaming of palm oil industry. Since 2019, Indonesia entered B30. This program replaced the petroleum energy, and the government has made a series of regulations to support the success of this program. Thanks for your attention and have a good day for everyone. Thank Mr. Joshi.
Thank you, Dr. Herry. Well, it is very comprehensive, you know, very nice presentation. You know, the Sawit Center as well as the SAFE Network will definitely download all these presentations, because we will learn a lot from these presentations, because there is so much information that all the four speakers have given. We may not have a lot of time for the questions because we are already running very late. However, I have just selected only, I have requested the presenters to also use the chat to answer some of them, but I'll just take one question for each presenter, and they can shortly give the answer in just 1 or 2 sentences. So the first question is for Zambia, Dr. Christopher. There was a question that the main problem of oil palm plantation productivity in Zambia. What are the main problems? Just Christopher, can you hear me? Okay. If he's not there, then there was a question for Dr. Celestine. How do you utilize palm oil? Is it utilized for biofuel development in Nigeria? Dr. Celestine, I think we can't hear. Dr. Celestine, okay, then I think we'll go to the question for Dr. Alawi. There were so many questions that have been asked here. So one of the questions that I think is very commonly asked is, what kind of diplomacy is needed to counteract the bad image of oil palm? How to overcome it together with other palm oil countries? Professor Alawi, I don't know, there is a problem of connectivity. Dr. Novizar, I think there is a problem of connectivity here.
Yeah.
I think what we can do is we can request you to give the concluding remark, because we are already running late of time.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Rafi. Thank you, Dr. Celestine. Thank you, Dr. Christopher. Thank you very much for Dr. Alawi and Dr. Herry Wirianata. We are already late. Yeah. So I have 2 conclusions. One, the increased productivity, climate change, and oil palm diplomacy and international collaboration are a main issue on sustainable palm oil production. This is a conclusion from all speakers today. And Sawit Center can play important role in bridging the need for sustainable palm oil production. That's my conclusion. Thank you very much, Dr. Ravi.
Thank you, Dr. Novisar. That was very comprehensive, and I think that is what I wanted to listen, because you have captured all the 4 presentations so well, and I think this is where the Sawit Center and the partners, together with Safe Network and universities, will be working in the future. And I'm sure in the future we are having more webinar on this oil palm, because it's such an important commodity. And thank you so much. And I now hand over to Miss Lily, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. And ladies and gentlemen, the webinar session has just finished, even though too many questions need to be further discussed. So I repeated the request from Dr. Joshi, because we have a limited time. We would like to ask all the speakers to drop the answer and comments on the room chat. Okay. And hopefully you're not bored yet. We really appreciate if you stay in this forum. We are going to enter to the moment of the launching ceremony of the Sawit Center. So I think the first time I would like to tell that actually the idea of creating Sawit Center came up since end of 2019. The idea emerged from interdisciplinary discussions and strong friendship and network led by Professor Nafizar Nasir. Then Dr. Sri Gunawan from Instiper followed up the idea very well, so that today we can witness the launch of Sawit Center exactly today in the 1st October 2020. Now we would like to have your attention to take a look at the video of Sawit Center introduction.
Sawit Center is international non-government value-based organization. Sawit Center consults a variety of elements in the grand multi-sectoral and whole chain of palm oil. Sawit Center develops the strategic roles to sustain the research and development, business and innovation of palm oil. Sawit Center will be a frontliner and partner for all aspects of sustainable palm oil. Sawit experts from all over the world are cordially invited here. Yeah, with you, Sawit Center will develop a dream team to provide any great solutions for sustainable palm oil. So, keep calm, be glad, go with palm. Join Sawit Center today.
Yeah. Let's give a big round of applause accompanied by high hopes and prayers so that the Sawit Center can grow and develop in accordance with its vision and mission with you and with all your tremendous full support. Okay, then I'm very pleased to invite Professor Nafizar Nasir and Dr. Sri Gunawan to guide the next session for introducing the Board of Management, International Core Team, and guiding a short session for a Q&A about Sawit Center. Please. Professor Nafizar?
Yeah. Where is, Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lily. Yeah, I would like to introduce the Sawit Center first. Yeah, this is the logo of the center. The logo meaning and description, like the color, green color means sustainability, and the shape, the circle shape mean the global, and the drop-like shape mean oils. The word sawit is Malay word for oil palm. This is to appreciate that Indonesia and Malaysia or Malay region is the world's largest producer of palm oil. Center means global center of excellence. Yeah, this is vision and mission, and we have many activities like Sawit research, Sawit innovation, Sawit training, Sawit consultation, Sawit publication, and Sawit diplomacy and Sawit network. I would like to introduce the management of Sawit Center. The board of director, Profesor Nafizar Nasir from Andalas University, Indonesia, and Dr. Insinyur Harsawardana from Instiper, Yogyakarta. Executive director is Insinyur Sri Gunawan MP from Instiper, Yogyakarta. The secretary is Dr. Lely Nurul Komaria from Universitas Sriwijaya, Indonesia. Treasurer Idum Satria Santi SPMP from Instiper, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. And Information and Communication Manager, Dr. Ravidra Joshi from Philippines. And we have international core team, Professor Dr. Khairia Badri from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. M. Azoni M. Lazim from UiTM Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. Alawi Sulaiman from University mana dia? Yeah, and Dr. Hani Hidalgo from CBSUA, Philippines, Dr. Helmi from Andalus University, Indonesia, Dr. Erna from Universitas Pajajaran, Indonesia, Dr. Rusdiana Sari from State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya, Indonesia, Dr. Kapembwa from Zambia, Dr. Ikuenobe from Nigeria, and Dr. Herry Wirianata from Instiper, Yogyakarta. Yeah, this is activities that are being carried out and will be carried out. The first journal publication, we have already published 2 volumes of oil palm research and review, and workshop on palm oil diplomacy, international webinar, empowerment of small and medium enterprise in smallholder and oil palm plantation, workshop on Minitab-based application on palm oil plantation, production management and forecasting, workshop on life cycle assessment of palm oil industry, workshop on palm oil blockchain, GPS radio tracking of FFB transport vehicle, smartphone-based monitoring and evaluation of smallholder replanting program, and 10, innovation on the application of biofertilizer and biological agent. Sawit Center, we will develop a dream team. We invite experts from all over the world to find the solution with us. Please join us today. You can visit our website and you can fill in the form for registration to be a part of Sawit Center. We have many network here, and yeah, keep calm, yeah, big lamb and
go with
palm. Yeah, thank. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this may be the end of today's event, but it is the beginning and a new chapter for Sawit Center. I hope everybody had a great time this afternoon and having new highlights regarding palm oil and its sustainability. We would like to thank everybody who making time and coming and attending the webinar and Sawit Center launching ceremony here today. Once again, I, Leili, on behalf of Sawit Center, would like to thank you for your contribution to the growth of our organization. We might not have reached this moment had it not been for you. Thank you for being a part of the journey of Sawit Center, and see you then and looking forward to hang out together in some other Sawit Center program and event. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep calm, and always glam with the palm. Bye.
Take picture together in the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Officer.
Thank you, Pak Herry.
Mr. Rafi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we leave it on for some time for us to answer some questions? Okay, thank you. I want to type in some questions, some chats.
Yeah.
I want to leave some chats on it. Okay. Okay. I'll leave some chats on.
Continue.
Okay.
The forum still continue because the speaker